Welcome to Startup Hack. All right, so the tech world is buzzing about OpenAI's latest mega model, but I don't think it's for the reason that OpenAI wants people to be buzzing about it. What if I told you the emperor has no clothes, right? So ChatGPT 4.5, or called Orion, just dropped, and it's the biggest, most expensive AI model ever built. However, the reviews are calling it a total lemon. Now, I've spent 25 years watching tech hype cycles come and go, and this one is huge, right? OpenAI is burning through cash faster than a Silicon Valley afterparty. They're completely out of GPUs, and they're losing money on every single inference. So what does this mean for the future of AI and OpenAI specifically? Stick around because we're going to dig into some of this today. All right, welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thomason. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps, as well as to build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. All right, so as I was saying, OpenAI just dropped their biggest model ever, GPT-4.5 Orion. And despite all the hype, it looks like they've totally hit a wall. The reviews are in, the finances are adding up, and this might just be the beginning of the end for bigger is better approach, which is all OpenAI seems to be able to do at this point. So OpenAI is burning through cash at a rate that would make even the most venture-backed startup nervous, which is what they're doing. Their latest ChatGPT 4.5 Orion costs more to run per inference than any AI model they've ever built, or anybody out there as far as I'm concerned, or that I've heard of. According to industry insiders quoted in TechCrunch, they've actually losing money every time someone uses the new model. Now, the computing resources they have shot through the roof, but the performance gains simply haven't materialized. So this creates a dangerous financial situation where usage actually hurts their bottom line rather than helping it. So even with Microsoft backing, this kind of cash burn cannot continue indefinitely in today's tighter funding environment. So let's take a look at some of these articles here today and see what we're looking at here. So the review from Ars Technica, as well as many others, is it's a lemon. OpenAI's largest AI model ever arrives to mixed reviews, right? GPT offers marginal gains in capacity and poor coding performance despite 30x the cost. So verdict is in. OpenAI's newest and most capable traditional AI model, GPT 4.5, is big, expensive, and slow, providing marginally better performance than GPT 4.0 at 30x the cost for input and 15x the cost for output. The new model seems to prove the long-standing rumors of diminishing returns in training unsupervised learning LLMs were correct, and the so-called scaling laws cited for many years have possibly met their natural end. So this is huge because there's a lot of problems going on here, right? It says GPT 4.5 is a very large and compute-intensive model, making it more expensive than and not replacement for GPT 4.0, the company wrote. Because of this, we're evaluating whether to continue serving it in the API long-term as we balance supporting current capabilities. So even they're admitting that it's not good enough to continue to run long run. This is huge, guys. Like, this is such a dud. And man, if I was a shareholder of OpenAI right now, I'd be terrified, right? But according to OpenAI's own benchmark, GPT-4.5 scored significantly lower than their simulated reasoning model of 0.1 or 0.3. However, it's just horrifically expensive to build, right? And so, so this is the price. This is part of what I wanted to get into about the price. It's a doozy. GPT-4.5 costs $75 per million input tokens and $150 per million output tokens through the API. Geez, compared to $2.50 per million and $10 per million. That's a staggering difference for a horribly return. Like, this is a total dud. And I can't believe that they actually shipped this. This shows that their level of desperation to have even put this out into the market, because this is just a terrible look for OpenAI. Now, tech journalists are calling ChatGPT 4 Orion a total lemon, and user reporting minimal imports. And after 25 years of software development, I've seen this pattern before. When you hit the limits of a particular approach, they're just trying to put out something new and slap a new lipstick on the pig and to see if they can do it. And this isn't just a hiccup for OpenAI. There is going to be some serious problems. And unfortunately, this will probably hit Microsoft as well because of their backing their funding. Now, Sam Altman himself admitted publicly that OpenAI is completely out of GPUs. They've bought literally every chip they can get their hands on. Now, the shortage impacts not just OpenAI, but the entire AI ecosystem, driving up prices and slowing research across the board. And I think this is kind of a cop-out and excuse, because rather than just blaming, or they're just blaming, and here's the article on this, they're blaming not being able to get some of these GPUs on some of their poor performance, right? And he's saying it's too expensive. It'll cost tens of thousands more GPUs. He's saying it'll come to first subscribers. But then he's like, and he, talks here again about the price that we just went over. We've been growing a lot or out of GPUs, right? Now, I don't really buy this because I really want to see OpenAI innovate. I want to see them stop just spending money on more and more and bigger models. Why aren't they innovating? For years, the dominant theory has been that bigger models with more parameters would lead to better performance. And this is the so-called scaling hypothesis. Now, 4.5 Orion represents the most aggressive test of this theory yet, and with rumored trillion plus input parameters. But however, we're seeing that this is proving false. So I've been saying here on my channel for a long time, and I hope you like and subscribe because I really love to talk about software, talk about AI, talk about building custom software for companies, talk about training the next generation of software developers. But this reminds me of the transition from single core to multi-core processors when clock speeds hit their physical limits, right? We saw this right around 3 gigahertz where people were like faster, and they sprinted to this 3 gigahertz. And then the difference between 3 gigahertz to 4 gigahertz made little difference in processing. Then they got into multi-core, and then we saw how fast could we pack more. Then we saw that multi-core even kind of hit a limit. We're seeing a similar difference here where the size of the models are not matter. And now if your systems are starting to hit limits inside of your company, make sure you reach out, because here at Starter Pack, our specialty is connecting systems for you and helping your company. So reach out, because I would love to help you set up a team and get things going for you. Now, overall, there's an architecture problem, right? 4.5 Orion is still fundamentally based on the transformer architecture that's been around since 2017. And after a quarter century in software development, I've learned that architectures have natural lifespans before they need fundamental reimagining. And like I said a minute ago, we saw this with like CPU processing, right? So we're likely to see a flourishing set of experiments. And we saw this come with DeepSeek. We saw more efficiency being scaled out of smaller LLMs. And that's what I'm really excited about. I'm excited about these small LLMs. And if you go back and check out my channel, I do a lot of DIY AI stuff to prove the stuff that you can do with small models. There's a lot of really cool stuff we can build with it. But what happens is when we continue to go bigger, and only bigger, what it's going to do is become garbage in, garbage out. If you're amassing every bit of data that you can, you're going to see that this is not only going to continue to exacerbate the problem. So what's interesting about this is that even hours after GPT-4's release, OpenAI removed a line that says the AI model from the AI model's white paper, saying it's not a frontier AI model. So they're already backtracking and backpedaling as fast as they can. So despite its size, they say that it does not consider GPT to be a frontier model. Like, this is crazy, because even with a $200 a month plan, they're going to see this just completely, fail. And so OpenAI has seen a failure here, and I'm not really sure how they're going to recover from this, because they can talk about GPT-5, but at this point, they're starting to cry wolf, and people are really not, buying in on this. Now, OpenAI struggles to open the door for a nimbler competition, and this is huge because these smaller guys can come in, use distillation, power against these guys, spend the $200 a month, and they can start to pump a lot of data out of OpenAI, who's just pumping billions and billions of dollars into this. And I think, so as far as I'm concerned, for us smaller guys, we need to start taking advantage of this, right? There's a huge open source opportunity. As OpenAI struggles with the economics of their closed models, open source alternatives are gaining ground quickly. Some open source models are now approaching GPT-4 level performance with significantly lower resource requirements. The collaborative nature of open source development allows for fast iteration and experimentation with new approaches. Now, throughout my career, I've seen open source solutions repeatedly disrupt established proprietary players. We saw this from Microsoft when Linux came along. And it wasn't that Linux came and dethroned Microsoft's desktop. Microsoft still has that. But when they've come along and they've seen this disruption of Linux into all of IoT, it's huge, and Windows lost out on this. They missed out on the mobile phone. We've seen this in different ways. And so for practical implications, businesses that are already using GPT-4, there's little reason to upgrade to the newer, more expensive GPT 4.5. But even more, there's a push to be pushing to some of these open source models, right? So much of AI right now is just a sticker over and just a layer over a GPT AI call. So I want you to make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I do a ton of DIY AI build out so that I can show you how you can use your own code and write against your own machine to keep your data in-house, not pump it into the cloud, and not give it to all these guys who are just data-hungry machines, right? So we're definitely entering a phase where integration and applications are more important than the raw model capabilities. Now, we've seen this over and over again throughout the years where there's all this hype machine, right? And so as you get into the open source models, I'm teaching more and more about how to use these on my channel here. So make sure that you follow along, because we're doing a lot of these, and I'm going to be showing you how to use structured data and how to use a lot of this so that you can be programming this very simply to start to run some AI agents. What I've been preaching for a long time now is we need to focus on the smaller models, train them for specific use cases, and make them be able to be functional for very dialed in specific use cases. If we do this, we can build some agents that are really powerful to accomplish specific things. When we try to boil the whole ocean and try to go after AGI and continue to try to push the limit with how much we can pack into these, we're going to continue to see failure. So that's why I'm a big fan of us, the little guys out there, us small businesses and us developers being able to build on these. Now, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. Do you think that I'm missing? Do you think I'm bashing on OpenAI unfairly? I just don't see a really good path forward here for OpenAI, because I think as they continue to push for bigger and bigger, we're going to see these smaller, the door open for these smaller guys to be able to come in and beat them just with simple innovation. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to have a great discussion. So make sure you leave a comment down below and make sure you like and subscribe. Here at Starter Pack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps, as well as to build custom software solutions. So make sure you reach out, because we'd love to help. Hit me up at starterpack.com/Spencer. And if you're interested in becoming part of the next generation of software developers, check this out.
Want to become a software developer but don't want to spend 4 years in college and rack up massive student loan debts? Think you need technical expertise to get started? Welcome to Startup Hack, a better way to start your software career without student loans and years without income. One-on-one tutoring is included, so you never get stuck and have guidance through the whole process. No technical experience is necessary. Learn at your own pace and in your own space. Startup Hack has worked with local state agencies in your area to make it so that qualifying students can get the program costs covered entirely, and students can start earning while they learn.
Startup Hack's .NET Coding Bootcamp was a game changer for my career. As someone with no prior programming experience, I was initially intimidated by the idea of learning to code, but the instructors at Startup Hack broke down complex concepts into easy to understand lessons and provided hands-on projects that really cemented my understanding. The curriculum was comprehensive and up to date and got me ready for my first job. What really set Startup Hack apart was the focus on practical, real-world skills. Thanks to Startup Hack, I landed my dream job as a .NET developer within weeks of graduating. I went from knowing nothing about code to building professional-grade web applications in just a few intense months. If you're looking to break into .NET development or level up your coding skills, I cannot recommend Startup Hack enough.
Complete our 3-month coding bootcamp, gain hands-on experience, and land a paid internship. With 2 years of experience, on average, our graduates are making over $80,000 per year. The 3-month program includes technologies from Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. No debt, just a quick path to earning. Check out startuphack.com to code your future and start today.